All right, guys, I have one of the best fig varieties that I'm going to review for you guys today. It's called Verdino Del Nord. We talked about it last year. I want to talk about it again because we have learned quite a bit more about this variety. And I'll tell you what, it's extremely productive. It's a mid-season variety. And it is probably the best variety of fig that you can grow in a humid climate. The best. I'm going to say it's my number one. It's only really slightly ahead, in my mind, ahead of Nerucciola de Elba. But this has, in my mind, surpassed a variety like Smith, and that Smith was my number one. And now this particular variety here has been so impressive, not just in how it performs here, but also the flavor. It's a small-sized fig. Some of them will be larger than others. As the tree ages, it seems like, it definitely puts on a larger size to it. They dry on the tree extremely easy. I'm only out here right now picking some of these because we had rain last night. I haven't been out here in a few days, really, to make everything nice and neat because we have some fermenting fruit that's getting attacked by fruit flies. The birds are coming in here, and even with this net over top of them, they're getting through here. And there's a few gaps that I'm going to tighten up here. But otherwise, I don't know how they're possibly getting in here. They must be crawling underneath the net, but it's all the way down to the ground and then some. So I'm kind of confused by that. But the birds did get one of these, looks like maybe yesterday or the day before. And man, these mosquitoes are getting to me too. It's tough out here, guys. But I will say, for a number of reasons, this is the number one. This is the number one fig. First off, it has a very short hang time. And it's also compounded by the fact that it will dry on the tree in a very short amount of time. And I'm not talking about shriveled, like this one here is quite shriveled. Let me see here if I get some other ones. There's one over here that looks like it's getting hit by ants or fruit flies. And this one may have fermented. This one, if you can keep the ants away, guys, this is the caveat, okay? You have to keep ants and slugs away, or birds, because if you have anything piercing the fig, regardless of the variety, you're gonna have issues with the variety fermenting, or with it drying on the tree, because you're gonna have holes in it. It's gonna be exposed to the elements. What's amazing about this fig is that it rarely cracks. It rarely splits. It has an incredible ability to dry, but also it resists fermentation. It resists molding. It has a high Brix that fights those negative things that are trying to destroy this. And this is why genetics are so important. To find something as incredible as this is really quite amazing. I'm going to cut these guys open. Now, I don't necessarily know what to say about this in terms of the vigor, because you could make an argument that it is vigorous, but I could make an argument that it's not. And I don't know exactly what to say about it. But what it does definitely need is a wider canopy. This is a variety that doesn't like to be, doesn't like to have a too dense of a canopy. So you got to straighten this out, widen the canopy, bend some of the limbs if you have to. It's not as bad as other varieties in that sense, but it does become a lot more productive if you do that. I also find that you don't necessarily have to pinch this one. At least it seems like the fruit buds, when they form on the branches and you see those two dots, it seems like this one forms those two dots visibly later than other varieties. And by the time it's already formed the two dots, it may not be worth it to actually do some pruning on this variety. Some other varieties like that might be Ronde Bordeaux and Smith. I have to really think that theory out a bit more. But let me cut some of these open. So not only is it, you know, mid-season, extremely rain resistant, humidity resistant, dries on the tree, but it also tastes incredible. It's one of the best varieties I have in terms of flavor. It is a 5 out of 5. I'm making this a 5 out of 5 as of this year. I did actually, believe it or not, have this variety right next to a Col de Dame Grease side by side, and this variety was better. That was that particular day. I don't anticipate that to be the case every time, but I do find that because this variety can ripen to such perfection here consistently, you have to give it some extra points for flavor. So let me show you here just a handful of these guys. I'm gonna lift you guys up. How's that? So it's extremely dark red. It's a ruby. I mean, they're like eating fig rubies, I find. Very jammy. What else can I say about it? Very thick texture. Dense. The berry flavor rivals Smith. The berry flavor rivals the Col de Dames. It just is one of the best tasting figs. It just is. So the only bad thing about it is that it's small. But here in this climate, I actually prefer that. I want smaller figs. And in my opinion, this is one of the fig berries. They're basically, it's like eating a fig berry. Small, very berry flavored, amazing variety. Very good. And no fermentation. Actually, I came out here and picked a Smith just now, and actually it was fermented, had some SWD in it. Let me try this one here that might be fermented. No. This one got attacked by ants, but this is what this variety is all about. Holy crap. When you can really get them to start to shrivel up or dry on the tree, they're intensely flavored, intensely berry flavored. This has got more berry flavor. This is like eating a raspberry, really. Just now it was like eating a raspberry. It's similar, I guess, in that sense to Malta Black. It's like eating a Col de Dame that's perfectly ripened, except I get them perfect almost every time. That's what's so beautiful about this variety. I don't know how else to really describe this to you guys, is that if you think about, the mosquitoes are getting to me, guys. My hands, my poor hands. I'm in long sleeves and long pants, and they still bother me. Probably should take some vitamin B1 or something. But you really will not recognize the beauty of this fig until you just grow it. You should grow it. Anybody who's in a humid place, anybody anywhere, I think should grow this fig, actually. Because what you'll end up having is just dried figs. In a dry climate where you have no issues, no pests, you can just let them dry on the tree and they'll sit there. You don't even have to take them off and dry them out in the sun if you don't want. It's incredible. Now I'm looking at my phone here because I have it in my spreadsheet in the description. I have a list of varieties that this fig also goes by. There's a number of names for this one. Why is that? Well, it's an incredible variety, guys. The acidity is there, the flavor's there, the berry's there, dries well. Everything about it is almost perfect. So knowing that, other people are going to know that too. It doesn't take a rocket scientist. Once you grow this thing, you're going to know. So that's what I'm trying to get at here, is that, believe it or not, this fig is all over the world. And whether or not you understand that, the good figs usually are all over the world. They have been spread all around the world for a reason. People are not spreading bad figs. People are going out of their way for this variety throughout history. I don't know how old it is, but I'll tell you what. It's got a number of names. One of them here is called Figoin, as probably a lot of you know. There's also Verdal from Ibiza that Thierry found, and then Picciotto also that Thierry found. So in Thierry's little travels here of him going across Europe and stuff, oh, they're really getting me here, guys. Man, who would have accounted for? There was a little bit of fermentation in that half, actually. Oh, the one that got bit up by the ants. Man, these guys are pissing me off. But I'll say this. Through Thierry's travels of him going around the world and finding different varieties, and him to find this in different places, finding Picciotto, finding Verdal and Ibiza, they're basically synonyms of this. This one was found in Europe as well. I don't know exactly where, I forget. But this one originally comes from Vladimiro Rocco in Italy. And he's growing this in northern Italy without the fig wasp. Does really well for him there. So for me, this is an exceptional variety. I don't know what else to say about it. Let me just show you the tree real quickly before it gets totally dark out here. Has a great form to it, guys. Took me a number of years to get this form because I pruned it so many times. But this is all new growth. It's actually quite a lot of new growth. And I guess that's how you could say that it is vigorous. And it is very productive, although a small fig. And there's even some fruits back there that are ripening, starting to dry up. They're yellow with a red eye. It's very distinct with this variety, as you'll see a red eye. See that red eye? Small fig, extreme ability to dry. This is probably the perfect leaf pattern right there. Smaller leaves. Something weird about it in terms of the productivity is that it'll have not necessarily multiple figs at the same node, but the density of figs will be very close, very dense, because you have a lot of leaves that, oddly enough, some of them I've seen, they almost form on the same opposite end of the branch. See that? That's really strange. And it's done that pretty consistently. Look at that one. So this one down here had 3 figs on it at one time because there's 3 leaves there. And that's just something weird that this variety does. It puts out a lot of leaves, and therefore it puts out a lot of fruits. So even though it's small, it puts out a lot of nodes to get you, I guess, more production and make up for it that way. Anyway, guys, this is Verdino Del Nord. I hope to see everybody soon, all right? For the next video, I really highly suggest you guys get this one. Huge recommendation. I don't even know if I'm going to have cuttings of it because I'm propagating as many of these as possible, and this is what I'm planting. This is the variety. So maybe not this year, but next year, I will have many cuttings for you guys, and this is really my big contribution, I think, to the fig community, is getting this variety into as many people's hands as possible. So we'll see everybody soon, all right? Take care, guys.